Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome into Stacking Dubs. I'm your host, Chris Chin. And yes, you hear some joy in my tone. It's been a while, definitely the first time since holiday season began. The Warriors break their 5 game losing streak. They finally hold on to a double-digit lead in the second half, and they win and beating the Rockets 99-93. I'm coming to you right after the game. Well, I still got a little bit of emotion going in this one because Jonathan Kuminga, my dude, career high 33 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. He was 13 of 22 from the field, 33 points on only 22 shots, and he's 3 of 6 from three. 14 points in the fourth quarter, and he showed me some alpha dog potential. Yes, we featured him basically throughout this one, other than when Wiggins had it going. But the whole second half, the ball was in Kuminga's hands, and he attacked, he finished. He showed us a glimpse of what the future could look like in a post Steph Curry era where Kuminga is the guy and he can shoulder the load. You can get on my back and I can support this team and win games against a good athletic defense. I mean, maybe Kuminga just owns the Rockets because this is the second game he's had a great game against Houston. Second time the Warriors have beat Houston this year, and we have them again coming up in less than a week. And I expect more of the same. Kuminga just exploiting that switching defense, attacking through the lack of rim protection. So, I mean, it did shape up in a good scenario to be a Kuminga game. I hammered the over on his 18 and a half points. No sweat, no big deal. Ooh, you can hear the excitement, guys. It feels nice to win. Just take a second, guys. Soak it in. We've been going through it lately, especially if you're also a Niners fan. So enjoy this win. Unfortunately, we have to play again tomorrow. It's nice to always win and have a couple days to just kind of bask in it. But we're going to get right back to it, and we're going to win again tomorrow against the Timberwolves. And Kuminga is going to just show us again a little more consistency and have another high scoring game, show that he can continue to shoulder the load. And really, that's all I'm looking for out of this guy. We know the potential. We know that, he can be a high 20 scorer. Can he do it consistently? Can he do it efficiently? Can he be an alpha, from night to night with this team? We've seen it maybe a couple nights, and obviously it's without Steph Curry. It's without Draymond Green also. But if that's what it takes for the mentality to just flip on, the light switch is on. Hey, I got to go be that guy. Same thing for Andrew Wiggins. Hey, I got to go be that guy in the first half because this team needs scoring. And, sometimes in a movement motion offense, you can get kind of passive. The ball's moving, it's not sticking. You're trying to take good shots, especially with Steph Curry on the floor. You don't want to force anything up because I'd rather Steph just shoot a step back three from 40 feet rather than anyone else force a shot up. You see the especially our wings, right? You see Wiggins, you see Kuminga just aggressive. Hey, you know what? It doesn't really matter if I take a slightly contested or, maybe ill-advised shot because, sometimes you're going to have to make difficult shots in this league. And that's what we got tonight. Kuminga, that being said, the difficult shots, they're difficult, but they're all within 10 feet. They're within 6 feet. It's using your body, getting into the lane, taking some contact, being an athlete and finding a way to get it off the glass, get it up, get to the line. You see what he can be. And I mean, he's what, 23 years old? Like, he's going to get stronger. He's going to fill out. He's going to be able to take even more contact and finish through it. He's only going to get better in the lane there. So, it excites me. It tickles me with joy to think about. Like I've said it before, and by no means is this a comparison to LeBron James, but this is a comparison to LeBron James in terms of just being able to get to the rim and finish through bodies and finish through traffic, have multiple types of finishes, be able to adjust in the air. But essentially, just be strong, upper body, lower body, core strength, and just be the best athlete in a game where there was very good athletes. But Kaminga, man, I just need to see more of it. I need to see it consistently because we all know, I've been saying it forever on here. The key is with Kuminga if this team wants to unlock the offense. It's just the other wrinkle. It's just somebody who can win one-on-one in isolation against a switching defense, just someone who can get downhill. And in addition to getting downhill, somebody that's showing that he can make good decisions off the dribble, showing that, hey, he can start to create a little bit for others. You saw in the third quarter, so there was definitely some forced passes. I think he tried to like sneak it into TJD a couple times. Just that interior passing and just that touch and just the timing, not quite there yet. We probably two turnovers in a couple minute span. But then you see it again later on in the game when he's using his body, he gets a hockey assist, finds Pajemski late in the shot clock after drawing a double team, and then Pajemski feeds it to TJD for a dunk. Big play in the game. If you guys remember it, it just shows the growth, the maturity, the vision of Kuminga to not always have to force. And he's starting to see a lot more results, not only as a scorer, but just as an on ball shot creator for himself and for others. And that is what the Warriors are missing. Also, I just want to say, Andrew Wiggins, when you're aggressive and when you're engaged and you're forced to just be, also an alpha, or call it a 1B, if you will, in this one, that's when you see the best version of Wiggins. 23 points, 9 rebounds. Love the rebounding tonight. We're going to talk about that more. A couple assists for Wiggs, but he was 8 of 15 from the floor, so over 50% as well. 3 of 4 from three, got fouled on a couple of threes as well. And he played, again, great defense on Jalen Green, who I think it was 3 straight games. Green has been averaging over 26 points, or scoring over 26 points per game, 4 of 16 tonight. Great defense by Wiggins, and Green only really got going at the free throw line late in the game. Rockets in general only 38% from the field. So, we're going to sing Kuminga and Wiggins praises, but the real other story is that they held the Rockets to 93 points. It was an old school game. No one even got to 100. And the fact that the Rockets didn't shoot great, but they had trouble, except for the very end when Sengun was getting whatever he wanted. They had trouble getting into the paint. Sure, they did start to in the second half start to get into the lane a little bit, start to create. But the Warriors fought. They got into the lane, but the Warriors made it tough. They contested and they rebounded. The rebounding was the key to this game, especially against the huge, long Rockets and Sengun. Steven Adams, you can see when they're in there, the ball just comes off the rim and there's 4 Warriors around and everyone's just jumping for the ball. Sometimes Adams and Sengun would still come down with it, but it just took a team effort. It took a village to rebound. And that's why the Warriors are one of the best rebounding teams in the league for the last couple years, is they commit to rebounding, and their bigs know how to box out and keep position and allow their guards, allow their wings to come in and help team rebound. Gotta say, Kevon Looney, great game, 27 minutes, which I don't know if that's a season high, but it's up there for him. Testament to his great conditioning, just losing the weight in the offseason and just really being ready to play. I thought he played a great game. 11 rebounds, which I guess is pretty standard for Looney. Had 3 assists, a couple nice ones. Hit a nice jumper. Everything Looney did was big in this. And that's the reason the Warriors won the rebounding battle, 54-45. I think they are tied in offensive rebounds, but Looney, a huge job on Sengun for most of this. And I know Sengun got what he wanted down the stretch, but you know what? That's the point when the Rockets started needing threes and they were chasing, so you'll live with it. Speaking of rebounding, Pajemski, I don't even know what to make of Pajemski's game. The offense, he had 8 points, but he had 12 rebounds. And that's, I think, Pajemski's most consistent and great trait is he's a great rebounder, great nose for the ball. Only 3 assists, but hey, he took care of the ball. He only had 2 turnovers, and he basically, I think he played 37, team high 37 minutes, and had the ball in his hands a lot. So only 2 turnovers. Absolutely will take it. Played good D. Just was the floor general that the Warriors really desperately needed, since I think Pat Spencer only played about 6 minutes. Even Kyle Anderson, he played 14 minutes as another ball handler. But I mean, it was really Pajemski for the most part handling the rock. Only 10 turnovers as a team. When you win a game by less than 2 possessions, that is one of the things you can hang your hat on and point to as finding the possessions you need. Points were at a premium, so these extra possessions, not giving away possessions, rebounding, getting to the line. Warriors got to the line 27 times, shot, I guess, an expected 67%. But I thought Pajemski found a way to the line in the clutch time. Nothing was going. I think there's 2 minutes left. For whatever reason, Kuminga hadn't touched the ball in 3 possessions. And we're running low on the shot clock, and Pajemski attacks to that right hand side, finds a way to get to the line, knocks down one of them. But hey, that's much better than an empty possession. So I thought he was aggressive, took care of the ball, and did enough to be a winning player in this. Let's see who else. Kyle Anderson, I thought played pretty well. Again, 14 minutes, but he had 8 points. Oddly enough, Kyle's one of our, I don't know, top 3 or 4 guys who can create his own shot in like the weirdest way. I mean, he's so long as it is, but he gets to his spots, he gets into the paint. He's got plenty of counter moves. He's patient. Obviously, slow-mo, he can decelerate. And it'll be kind of a contested, unorthodox, ugly looking 6 foot little push shot. But hey, it's a 6 foot push shot from a guy who's got, I don't know, whatever, a 7 foot wingspan, plenty of height. That's a pretty high percentage shot. Found a way to get to the line as well. So, hey, you know what? And again, with the Warriors scrapping for points, Kyle's been pretty consistent once he stops trying to shoot from the outside. He'll get you 3, 4, 5 field goal attempts, pretty high percentage. And, in the margins, those are good shots. And, that's contributing considering on the defensive side of the ball, he's an absolute monster. So, if you can continue pushing, 6, 7, 8 points for us, that's exactly what we need out of a guy who's going to give us hopefully about 15 minutes per game, especially when Draymond has been out. And we don't really know exactly how long Dre is going to be out. Maybe we'll see him tomorrow. I don't think so. I'm hoping that we can see Steph Curry tomorrow. It sounds the way they're managing it. I'm guessing they just didn't want him to play in the back-to-back. Nice, obviously, they're still going to be a little achy. He played a ton of minutes last game. I think he was at 34 minutes. So didn't make much sense to have him playing a back-to-back. So they said, hey, we're going to sit you on the front end. Hopefully he's back for the Wolves. And the Warriors steal a win. Guys, for every bad loss that we've had, or for one of the bad losses we've had recently, you can scratch it out, pretend like it didn't happen. Let's call it the Nets game, right? That was probably the one that we really shouldn't have lost. So, hey, that didn't happen. We only lost a couple tough ones to good teams like the Thunder and Suns and Spurs lately. So, not too bad. Way to steal one, guys. Just wanted to get this one out here so you guys can enjoy it. I'm going to be back tomorrow after the game, right after the Warriors go 2-0 on a back-to-back. Steph Curry should be back. Hopefully, a nice fresher Steph will be able to shoulder some of the load. But I don't want to get away from what Wiggins and namely Jonathan Kuminga did tonight. Continue to be aggressive. It was a hard-fought game, and there's a lot of usage. They're going to be a little bit tired. I actually wouldn't be surprised if Wiggins sits tomorrow. Just, he was questionable in this one, and the ankle's been a little achy, but he might be able to play through it because we are going to need him against Anthony Edwards tomorrow. Not expecting Draymond Green, but again, Jonathan Kuminga, I need you to stay aggressive tomorrow. I need you to, have at least 15 to 18 field goal attempts. And you don't have to be the alpha with Steph there, but you do need to be the alpha at times. You need to say, hey, I want the ball in my hands, just like tonight, where he said after the game, they said, Draymond was telling me, Steph was telling me on that last possession, go get the ball. Go get the ball. And he said, I was nervous thinking that, hey, the game's in my hands right now. We're up 3, and basically, if he scores, the game's over. And everyone knew he was getting the ball. Defense was geared up and set against him. Gets the ball, runs the clock down, splits the defense, puts up a tough contested layup, but strong finisher. Might have gotten fouled even, but at the very least, you got to get to the line. But he saw the lane, finished, wins the game. That needs to stay there tomorrow. I know it's not always going to be a switching defense, but I'd like to see him utilize Steph Curry as a screener so that Kuminga can start getting downhill. And once he gets ahead of steam, we already know what's going to happen. He's going to score, he's going to get to the line, or maybe he's going to make a good pass and find an open shooter, because that's becoming part of his game as well. So I thought Warriors, great job. Played with a lot of force, played with some grit. It looked a lot more like the team that we saw early in the season, just in terms of effort, in terms of focus, in terms of taking care of the ball. Well, the only difference being that Buddy Hield just still cannot shoot. I don't know what was happened to Buddy. It's the self-fulfilling prophecy of, hey, Buddy Hield, every team says you're going to love Buddy Hield for 10 games, and then you're not going to. So we kind of are seeing this, but I still have faith. Buddy is still going to have to be an important scorer shooter for us. Nothing else, just space the floor. But him and Moody didn't really have it from a shooting perspective tonight. But you don't even need to get into that because Warriors get a dub. The stack begins. We got one. Let's get another one tomorrow. Everyone, have a great Friday, and I will talk to you again in just a short 24 hours. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, I am Chris Chin. Peace, love, and stacking dubs.